Spartans! What is your profession?
Yes, people, and we are back, and we have to welcome Mr. K.A. How are you doing, sir?
How's it going, everyone? Hope you didn't miss me too much.
Not at all. But we are gonna, we are gonna go into the Premier League restart, due to start next week, Saturday, 12th of September. It is back. I mean, obviously, with the COVID and all that, everything's just jumbled up and messed up and all the rest of it. But we are getting Premier League football. We haven't had to wait that long, especially after that terrible Nations League nonsense that was on today. It's just international football just doesn't do it for me. But we will start with the opening game of the Premier League, which will be Fulham versus Arsenal. We got our two Arsenal connoisseurs here, the truth from Mr. K.A. Firstly, I wanted to get your impressions on the business that you lot have done so far. Mr. AKA, what do you think of the business that Arsenal have done so far?
I think we've done all right. I think we've done all right. Last video, I think I was on talking about Arsenal. I spoke about sorting out the defence, having a winger. I think we've answered that. I think I was Arteta listening. Was Mr. Edu listening? I don't know, because they've gotten some experience, which I spoke about. We've gotten some defenders. We've actually got options in defence now.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure we're going to go on to talk about it. Some of them are young, but some of them, their first season in the Premiership. But we've got actual decent defenders now, even though they're not proven in the Premiership, but they're proven in their own way. So I'm quietly optimistic. Obviously, as I said, everyone's got a gel, so got to see how it goes. But yeah, we did all right, man. Did all right.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, as you said, you've got the youngsters in. Pablo Mari, Gabriel, Saliba. Obviously, he came in January but went back on loan. But has he gone out on loan again, or is he?
No, he's with us.
He's at the club.
Yeah.
And obviously, it's the massive thing about Arsenal for the past 10 years. We
10?
must sort of
ever since Invincibles, fam. Ever since Invincibles, the defense has been
sort out the defense. Got some youth in there. Obviously, Sideshow Bob is still there.
He's Mr. Experience right now, man. So
it's true. It is true. Yeah. And then obviously, Ceballos has just re-signed his loan, so he's on loan again because he said he didn't want to go anywhere else. And then you've managed to snatch Willian from Chelsea, which normally is Arsenal giving away their players. So the fact that you're able to snatch another player from another team is decent business. But truth, with all of what's gone on, obviously the transfer window isn't finished yet. It goes on to the first week of October or something like that. What are the prospects? What are you expecting from Arteta and Arsenal in the coming season? Obviously, we can't foresee too much because we don't know how the players are going to react to such a short time of having a break and COVID and whatnot. And obviously, we've got the Euros and the World Cup qualifiers and the rest of it. But taking that aside, what is your expectation for the club, and what do you want to see, and what do you expect to see from Arteta and Arsenal this season?
I remember a few weeks ago, just before the transfer window started, we had a list. I don't know who sent it. It was it just went around viral of a list of players that we were linked with for the summer. And I said, I think I remember telling Mr. K.A., if we got those players, I would feel very confident going into this season of solidifying ourselves in the top 4. The joke is we've got 4 out of those 6 players in terms of Gabriel, Willian, Ceballos has come back, and Saliba, obviously. And I think we're missing just the 2 pieces for me, which is Partey and probably another midfielder to play in that midfield role, whether it's attacking or that centre midfield, when you talk about Jose Mawar or Coutinho. From reports, we'll probably only get 1 out of the 3. I'm obviously hoping that we get Partey still. I know we still got a lot of work to do in terms of selling players to get him. But if we were to get Partey, I would fully expect us to go hard for a top 4 finish. And I'm not talking about being outside the top 4 and then getting in the final day. I'm meaning being inside the top 4 for a long period of time and wrapping it up with a good 5-6 games to go. Because the advantage we've got this season is that there's no fans in the stadium. So going to the lower league teams, and I'm even talking about going to like Sheffield United and Wolves, which are normally hard places to go. Without the fans, it's not a scary place to go. So you're just looking at the top 6 results between themselves. And from what I've seen from Arteta, he's had decent results against the top 6 towards the end of the season. So I think this season suits him perfectly, to tell the truth. No pressure against the bottom clubs. I think visiting the bottom clubs are going to be easy for the top 6. And as I said, it's going to come down to results between the top 6, which Arteta has a good results just recently. So yeah, I'm fully expecting a top 4 push. I'm not expecting a tighter challenge. I think we're a bit far away from that, probably about 2-3 seasons away from that. But definitely a top 4 push.
It's a reasonable assessment. I mean, if you take into consideration, obviously, even though it is the curtain raiser, but the charity shield, or whatever they call it nowadays, community, whatever, FA McDonald's shield, whatever they call it. I mean, Liverpool side, that obviously are the champions.
Mm-hmm.
Good account of yourselves. Abba with another fantastic goal. Went to penalties and said, even though if you win it, it's a trophy. If you don't win it, it doesn't matter. Yeah. But it's another trophy in the cabinet in the cabinet against the champion. So, Mr. KA, is that another box ticked in this short but very successful campaign from Arteta?
It can only be a positive. As you said, you win it, you get a trophy, you get a medal, you get an excuse to celebrate and be happy, and that can only be a positive, a confidence booster, and a step in the right direction. So, and then with us being the FA Cup champions in Liverpool, who we beat, being the Premier League champions, it gives the team a boost or that mentality lift where we can say that we beat Liverpool coming in, and they played a decent side. So Salah was there with his new haircut, so it was a decent team, man.
Yeah, it was far from a friendly. It was far from a friendly. If you saw the way the teams played, both of them, they both had a point to prove. So it was far from a friend. And it's only in England where we don't take it seriously. In Spain, Italy, France, they take it seriously because it's a chance to beat the champions. It's a chance to get a trophy over the champions. So it's taken seriously in other countries. Just over here, people don't take it as seriously as they should do. So,
Mr. K, just to finish on the Arsenal talk, I really asked the truth. What are you expecting from this season? I didn't ask you. What are you expecting from this season? Where are you expecting Arsenal to finish this season?
Well, do you know what? I'm gonna wait and see sort of like the first, let's say, 10 games, 5 to 10 games or so, because as I said, with the signings that we have, it's a mixture. It's a mixture of like experience and teams with, and then players without experience, players who hasn't played in the Premier League. It's going to be a new setup, a new formation, possibly a new. Well, we could play the wing-back system, but it's going to be new players, so it's going to feel like a new position. A new formation. So it all depends on how they gel. But I like the fact that we've got the experience in the team. We've got the likes of Xhaka. We've got the likes of Willian now in the team, who's a versatile player in midfield. So we've actually got someone who can deliver the ball, which I talked about in the last video. We've got Luiz in defence, and we've actually got a Brazilian core. Can you imagine that? Like our core is Brazilian, even though it's not like the Brazilian of old, of like Ronaldo and Roberto Carlos, all them guys, but it's a Brazilian core. They've got that camaraderie. Like even we've got Martinelli to come back as well. So he's another stuff people have forgotten about. But the one signing apart from Partey that we're waiting on is Uber, man. Albert Uber, whatever you want to call him. P, sign the ting, bruv. What's going on, man?
It is a conundrum because it's going into his last year now, isn't it?
This is the last year.
He's going into his last year. He's won the FA Cup. He's won the Charity Shield. He looks like he's got a good relationship with Arteta. You've made signings. Truth, what is the hold up? What could possibly be the hold up?
Maybe with all the pizza.
With all the positivity coming out of Arsenal and Arteta and what Edu's doing, what is the hold up?
Just like me, he's waiting for that Partey deal because he wants to win more trophies. So I don't blame him if he's saying, let me just hold on. Our transfer business isn't done yet. They have to show the right ambition. This is what I'm saying. And I know Kojo's saying that he's going to wait and see. For me, as I said, I expect a top 4. I really want us to go for it. And I do want trophies. Another FA Cup run wouldn't be bad. Winning the Carabao. I think Arteta's really going to go for the Carabao Cup because he learned under Pep. And Pep knows how important that trophy is for the rest of the season. So I hope we go out and try win that. I don't think I've seen us win that since I've been an Arsenal fan, actually. Can't remember the last time. I think this was talking about George Graham era since the last time we won the League Cup and that. So I would love to go win the Carabao Cup. I'm not one for sitting on the fence this season. I think this season we have a chance to go for it. If we don't make it, then yeah, I'll understand. Obviously, Arteta's still new. We got new players, but really and truly, I'm not going to be on the fence like I was previously and saying, we're still in transition. I think we have to put our foot down now and go for it because we have an opportunity with the whole COVID and everything. I don't think we could be happy with just being outside the top 4 and having another season like we done last year because that's not acceptable at this moment in time.
I 100% agree. I mean, on the outside looking in, as I said, Arteta in the short time that he's had has worked wonders. The players that you brought in are young and they're going to buy into the ethos that Arteta is trying to do. And I can't see why Arsenal can't finish in the top 4 or at least push. We've got 6 teams trying to get into 4 spots. Depending on what more business Everton do, it could be 7. Because obviously with them getting Allen, James, Decore, with Ancelotti there, bro, it's just another problem from another team. Do you know what I mean? So it's gonna be interesting times, but we're trying to get 7. So it could potentially be 7 clubs into 4 spots. But I can't see why Arsenal cannot get in there. I'm gonna move on from Arsenal now, and we're gonna touch on the team that has been spending all the money. I mean, we haven't got the man whose team it is here at the moment. I think he's doing cooking with Rash or whatever. But
he's watching the boxing, mate. He's in the gym. Doing something manly, mate.
Let's talk about Chelsea. I mean, they've just been going in, mate. I mean,
mate, they're scaring the rest of the league, man.
Scaring the rest of the league.
Everyone's nervous now, man.
Werner, Ziyech, Havertz, Thiago Silva.
Well, that's going to be iffy now, isn't it, Thiago? There's rumours where he could be
in clubs. Not Thiago, is it? Thiago Silva. The defender.
Oh, sorry. I'm the midfielder. Sorry, my bad.
There was someone else. Who's the other person?
They bought that goalkeeper. Well, they're looking at that goalkeeper.
Chilwell.
Oh yeah, Ben Chilwell.
Chilwell as well. I mean, Chelsea are building something massive here. Truth, are you scared? Because I know I am.
With Chelsea, I think they're going to have the best attacking force in the league. Whether on paper, whether they gel or not, it'd be a different thing. But on paper, they have the best attacking force. I think Ziyech, Havertz, Pulisic, Werner. Tell me a better front line. There's no better front line at the moment in the league. And if they click, then they're going to do damage. But my caveat to that is just, I don't know if Lampard is going to be able. I don't know if Lampard is going to be able to get it all to work this season. I know he done an amazing job last season, but I think there's loads of little things where you're talking about Man United, Arsenal, Tottenham went up to that level. So they kind of got away with having a mediocre season. Because remember, down from third all the way down, everyone had mediocre seasons. Chelsea and United just got away with it. So I don't know if Lampard has it in him. So yes, on paper they're going to be very fearful. I just don't know if Lampard is the guy to really get the best out of all these players. Remember, he's only had 1 year at Derby and then obviously last year at Chelsea, which was mediocre from both. I'm not going to say he done amazingly. They were mediocre altogether. So that's a caveat to that.
Yeah, so Mr. KA, what are your thoughts on Chelsea and how they're building this juggernaut of a side? Do you concur with what the truth said about on paper they've got a potent attacking force, but he doesn't believe in Fat Frank and what he can do with this team? Or are you under the impression that because even though the league was mediocre, he managed to get fourth with basically no striker, and with the force that he's got now, he must be able to do something?
Yeah, do you know what? Because as the truth said, they've got some good players coming in, and as you said as well, it's pretty scary, man. Everyone's kind of like taken more of a notice of Chelsea and like taking them even more seriously. Frank, I think he's a player's manager, so he seems like a good motivator. So I think he could still get something out of the players, even though it's their first time having them gel. Like I think I can see a lot of players saying they want to play for Frank, and they've still got good players in the squad. Like we've got Mount that we haven't mentioned. We've got, if you can get Kovacic playing good, that should be a good thing. But then also
Kovacic was good last season, to be fair.
Yeah, but he had his ups and downs, and same with Gervinho as well. They were both in and out of the team. So if you can get them sort of extending their purple patches, then it should be good. But then I'm more kind of like concerned about their defense, because that was where their problem was last season on set pieces.
Yeah, they conceded the most goals, isn't it?
Yeah,
out of the top half the table, they conceded the most, and we that's saying something because we had a horrible defense too. So I don't know how.
I know.
Do you not think that adding the experience of Thiago Silva and obviously Ben Chilwell was sought after? I mean, at one point, I think in January, he was almost going to City. Do you think with those two additions that, I wouldn't say eradicates their problem at the back, but it makes it a lot better than what it was?
I don't think so.
No, me neither, to be honest. I don't think it adds that much. Because I asked the question, who are they going to partner Thiago with? Are they going to play 3 at the back? Are they going to play 2 at the back? Thiago is new to the... As the truth mentioned earlier on, there's going to be no fans, so it will be kind of easy for Thiago to settle in. But it's still a new environment. It's still a new partnership, so...
I'd be surprised. I don't know what the plan is for Thiago. I don't know what your thoughts are, TJ, but what do you think the plans were for Thiago Silva on a 1-year contract?
I think... Go on.
Yeah, no, because I'm saying he's there. You're probably thinking he's going to play. He's probably the best centre-back they have, but it's not saying a lot because Rudiger, Christensen, they're not great. Tomori's very young still very inexperienced. So
Zuma as well.
when I see Zuma, all I see is getting spun by Oba. So I'll leave it for next day. What do you think the plans are for Thiago Silva?
I think the main reason why Thiago Silva's been brought in more than anything else is experience. I think in terms of organising the back 3 or the back 4, taking the players forward. As I said, Tomori's young. Christensen, I think, is only 25. I think Zuma is only 25 as well. It's only Rudiger, I think, who's 28. I want to say he's 28.
Yeah, but they've also got Azpilicueta as well for the experience. So,
but with Azpilicueta, I can't say his name, but he's more of that right. He's more playing right back or right wing back. So I think Thiago Silva's first and foremost was brought in for the experience to be the organizer. I think bar that, bro, I don't see what other purpose he serves. He's 33. Now, obviously, prior, we're talking about Lionel potentially coming into the Premier League 34, 35. Well, that's Lionel, and he's an attacker. It's a lot easier. You're coming into the Premier League where all these guys do is run at 33 years old. It's going to be a reality check for him. But I think if he can partner him with the right centre-back, and he can coach them through it, I think it will be a decent addition. But I agree with you lot in terms of centre-backs, it doesn't solve the problem. I think bringing Ben Chilwell in at left-back solves the problem for them because they had that Emerson who was terrible and Alonso who only wanted to go forward. Reece James on the other side as well, wing back or right back. I think Asra, whatever his name is, I think he's got like one more season. I think Azzi's probably got one more season left in him. And then Reece James will be playing that for the next 10 years for Chelsea unless he gets bought by Real Madrid or Barcelona. But yeah, to go back to the original point, Thiago Silva, experience, know-how. And obviously, I think that experience in the Champions League as well will serve them a little bit of purpose. But other more than that, I can just see him getting terrorized by the other teams. But just wanted to bring Tooth in because obviously he's got those connections in Germany, bruv. Obviously,
I wasn't sure what he was going to say there. He's a connection. I was like,
he's got the plug in Germany.
He's got the plug in Germany. But Kai Havertz, obviously, Timo Werner coming in from Germany. You've obviously seen a bit of them play for Leverkusen and Leipzig. What are Chelsea getting from those two players?
Oh, two absolute monsters. Havertz to begin with. So let's start off with the one that we're more familiar with. We've seen a bit more of him in the Champions League. That's just a glimpse of what he's capable of doing. He's very young still. He's going to develop into a monster. He is going to be probably Germany's future captain at some point. The kid can play anywhere and everywhere in an attacking position, but he's also got a very good defensive mind about him. I know we had this discussion in the WhatsApp group before about what position is he really, what is his best position? Because he's so versatile.
Yeah.
But when he was coming up through the ranks, he was a box-to-box midfielder.
Yeah.
So he does have a defensive brain about him. But then as he grew, and this was what's amazing about him, he had an amazing growth spurt. So he shot up to like 6 foot something in a short period.
I saw his height. 6'1".
Yeah, man. He shot up. And then once they realised, let's try him down the middle as a centre forward. Smashed it. They were like, let's put him on the wide, on the flanks in a wide position. Smashed it. Let's play him as a number 10 role. Smashed it. And we have to think about this. Like, Leverkusen are not the strongest team in the Bundesliga. They're not like a RB Leipzig or a Dortmund. Do you know what I mean? They're a decent team, but they're not like charging for a title or competing with Bayern by any sense. So they've definitely got a beast on their hands. Dribbling ability is out of this world, and he's a finisher as well. Him partnering up with Ziyech and Werner is going to be formidable. I'm telling you, it's going to be mad. As far as why he chose Chelsea, Bayer will never sell any players to Munich. They will never, ever do it, because I'm not sure if you boys remember, there was one season where Munich literally hijacked all the Leverkusen players.
Yeah, took the Balaks and all of it.
Balak, Zay Roberto or Zay Ramirez.
Yeah.
They took all of them in one season as well, on a free.
So Salihamidzic come from? So was Salihamidzic Leverkusen, or was he? I know he went to. Munich?
He might have been.
I'll have to look over it.
Yeah. So Leverkusen have this grudge where they will never ever sell a player to Munich. But I do know this for sure. At some point, Munich will go back in for Havertz. They definitely will. It might be a Leroy Sané situation. They might let him play in England for a couple of years. But believe it or not, Munich will come knocking on that Havertz door. And depending on how Havertz's career is going, I mean, look at Sané. He was smashing it at City, and he still decided to bounce. Because the law of Munich to German players is just, it's a boyhood dream. Do you know what I mean? You can't turn it down when they come after you. Werner similarly is a beast. He's been smashing it at RB, and the reason why he didn't leave for Munich was simply because RB can't afford to keep these sort of like they can sell players and keep players on their own demand simply because they have that sort of money in the club now, where they're not having to be compromised by the teams like Munich. As far as Fat Frank, and again, this is the discussion we had on the WhatsApp group, man. I don't think Roman will be looking at him as the kind of manager that, I will give him time simply because he's a legend. I think he's just going to be as cutthroat as he's always been, simply because he put 200 plus into the club this season. And he's brought in probably the most hottest properties in terms of prospects in the game right now. And if, as you mentioned as well, if Fat Frank was able to get top four with no striker and a transfer ban, and now he's bought in 200 million worth of players, and he can't compete for the title, I think he's going, and I definitely think he's gone by December. If they're long off the mark, don't get me wrong. If they're like in fourth or fifth and they're like 20 points adrift from first place, I personally think he's going to get the sack. Just quickly on Thiago Silva. What you said about them buying, what was the purpose of them buying Thiago Silva? I read this article and I think it made perfect sense. Was basically because Chelsea made a mistake by letting David Luiz go. And it wasn't a tactical decision. It was more of a decision because of leadership experience and someone that can take the blame when things go wrong. You have to bear in mind all the four centre-backs at Chelsea, so Christensen, Rudiger, Zuma, and I forgot the other one's name. Tomori. Bro, these guys, none of them have a partnership. A, all of them are young. B, none of them have shown leadership. Only when they're winning, cool. But when they're losing, their heads go down. They're very inexperienced in the game. And the article was making a comparison when David Luiz came to Arsenal, right? For example, Tierney had a game, like a terrible game where Arsenal must have lost like 4-1 and Tierney was a liability. And David Luiz went in the dressing room and said, look, I've got this. I'm going to take the blame for this so it doesn't ruin your development. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, that's what they're looking for. That's what they're missing. Because in that Chelsea squad, those defenders are like, I almost get the feeling that they will backstab each other at a drop of a dime if something goes wrong. One will, you know what I mean? One will blame the other if something goes. Like, there's not that lead, there's not that experience. So in terms of that 1 year deal, I think he's just come in to be like almost like a player coach in defence. So I don't think it's the worst move in the world. I think it's a good signing if it can improve the players around him. Not necessarily him, because he might, players might run rings around him at his age and, move into a new league, a new club, getting adjusted. He might have a terrible season, but that's not the purpose why I think they brought him in for, if that makes sense. I think he's brought in to help the players around him grow, because Zuma can be a world-class defender. Rudiger can be a world-class defender. I think, personally, they're still young. They've still got a lot to prove, but that's
not world class. If you're not world class by 21, you're never going to be world class, mate.
Fair enough.
I mean, not world. If you're not on that trajectory to be world class by 21, I just don't think you're going to be world class.
Bearing in mind, these players that they bought, Havertz and Ziyech and Werner, they have come from probably the best academies in Europe. These boys know how to play football. They know tactics. They are primed and groomed to be world-class players or play at least at the elite level, at the top level. So they're going to be dangerous and they're a scary team already.
It is 100%. Just in a few words as possible, I'm just going to ask the three of you. Start with Mr. K. Where do you expect Chelsea to finish?
Well, top four, man. Our German correspondent just gave an excellent kind of analysis and broke it down, man. They have to be top four, even possibly challenging. You've got to see how City start the season, and even Liverpool as well, if they have some sort of like kind of Champions hangover where they don't start off the season firing on all cylinders. But so I think Chelsea were up there. Without these signings, they were up there. So who's to say they won't do it again?
Truth.
Yeah, I agree. Obviously, it's going to be hard for me to predict the top six. Obviously, as I said, I want Arsenal to be up there. I just think there's loads of weaknesses in every single one of the top 6 or 7 teams, as you may have said. So right now, it's hard for me to predict. But if I'm just going on paper, then Chelsea need to be having a title challenge and possibly finishing third or second. I think anything less than that is a bad season considering how much money they've spent.
True.
Tooth, just to bring you in, where do you think Chelsea will finish?
Yeah, I think it's between Man City and Chelsea on paper. Yeah, that's my thoughts.
Yeah, Man City and Chelsea. We'll watch this space. Obviously, we could go on about Liverpool and City and what they've done, but we won't touch on them. But obviously, we know they will be fighting for a title challenge between the two of them. We would expect it, being the champions and the former champions, and they will come again. But we are going to move on to
Ole. Ole by the wheel. Tell me how you feel.
So as you can see, United, after the season ended, obviously Jaden.
This whole thing took a sharp right, didn't it?
The mood just dropped like
boom, plummet.
These guys signed Donald Duck apparently. Mr. Donny van der Beek.
Signed, so obviously.
You know who they signed, bro? They signed Donny van der.
Van der Beek's been signed. Yeah, you lot go ahead in it.
But Gunwood's got the new number 11.
Man, like Gunwood in that.
Cementing, giving him more responsibility in the team first.
Nah, I need to hear personally though, because obviously when they announced Van der Beek, I was interested to know where he's gonna play. So maybe you could just shine some light about where and how. I see you don't know. Where is he gonna play? Because he's a certain midfielder. Obviously you got Pogba, Fernandes there. Unless you're thinking of just playing
don't forget about the legendary
Fred, McTominay. Where's he gonna play?
Well, listen, I said, like, me personally, I play him instead of Bruno. I'm one of these United fans that the more I've watched Bruno Fernandes, the more I don't like him.
Elaborate on that.
This is the thing, and this is how the media poisons people's mind, he's basically done the same thing that Sanchez done when he came. All he does is gives away the ball and tries to play Hollywood passes. And Maureen said it best, he takes good penalties, innit? Because that's basically what he's done since he's come. But the media are on this agenda where, I heard Jamie Redknapp say the other day, since Bruno's come in, he's allowed Pogba to play better. Get out of here, bruv. Are you mad? Like, what are you talking about? Bruno's come, but they had this guy on some pedestal. Like, apart from the last game against Sevilla, which I knew we were going to lose, bro, this guy was one of the worst players on the pitch. I think, what was it that we played in the Europa League? He got man of the match. He was one of the worst players on the pitch, bruv. And this is what I'm saying. Like, this is how media split fans when they force this agenda about how Bruno's the Messiah and blah, 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 and this, that, and the other. Well, you know what? I'm not going to go, because I'll just be here all day. But in terms of Donny van de Beek, let's focus on that, because you lot are just trying to upset me.
Bro, but he's another versatile player, isn't he, man? Again, Ajax Academy, total football. You could literally put him anywhere. That's what I think the benefit of signing a player like that is in your squad, because he doesn't necessarily come in and take Pogba's position or Fernandes. You can literally play him
He's a good player.
He's a good player.
Yeah, but
one of the biggest things for United is that we needed to improve the bench, because the quality of the bench was terrible. When, like, as you could see in them games, like when the first 11 didn't work, we didn't really have anything coming off the bench. So bringing in Donny van de Beek, I think what he's been brought in for is in case Bruno gets injured, but I think his main priority is to rotate with Pogba, which is a violation. But like it's all about strength and depth. It's not someone that we necessarily needed, but I'm not going to complain about getting him, because it means that we can offload some of the other players that we don't need. So, i.e. Andreas Pereira, who is the biggest fraud of youth in this world. How this guy...
he wasn't that bad at Valencia, man. When he went to Valencia, I thought he was a different player.
Then let him go back to Valencia then. Because he has no right being at Man United, bruv. He's just dead food, bruv.
I personally think that Van der Beek is almost too good to be a squad player. I don't really see him rotating, because let's put it like Man City. Man City, for centre midfielder, they have Bernardo Silva, David Silva, KDB, Gundogan. Players like Gundogan, David Silva was also, he accepted he's going to be rotated. Bernardo Silva, the only guy there that's really good enough is De Bruyne. I don't think United have that yet to say, oh, Pogba, Fernandes, you're definitely going to play all game. But I don't think you rotate a player like Van der Beek. You know, he doesn't come from Ajax playing week in, week out Champions League to go sitting on the bench sometimes, coming in, rotating. I don't think he's that kind of player. So I said I'm interested to see where he's going to play.
If you want me to be honest, I'm going to be honest. Yeah. If you don't want my honest opinion, I think Van der Beek, don't get me wrong, as I said, is to improve squad depth. But I think the main reason is that United could still anticipate Pogba to go. And as much as there's been talks, and obviously I think Raiola's come out and said that Pogba will re-sign and whatnot, blah, blah, blah. I think it is a safety net. Don't get me wrong, I don't think he's been brought in to say, all right, cool, Pogba's definitely going to leave. I think he's part squad depth, part safety net, just in case Pogba, Zidane says, yeah, I want Pogba at Real Madrid, and Pogba says, yeah, see you lot later. So it could be that as well. But I personally think squad depth and to offload some other players, that's personally why I think he's been brought in. But he is top quality. Don't get it twisted. I don't want to, but the thing is, I don't even want to see him playing the Pogba role. I want him playing in Bruno's role, because he, as much as I hated Fat Frank, he's got that about him where he makes them late runs and he's in the right place, right time to score goals. Yeah. And obviously, Ajax Academy, bruv, technical a bit. Bruv, man's going to be going there, and see a man like Andreas Pereira, McTominay, and he's going to be like, bruv, you man have been playing football for how long? And your technical ability is abysmal, bruv. Man's going to be going there. Hold on, another question. What can Oli tell him?
Nothing.
What can Oli tell him or coach him and tell him, bruv?
Nothing.
At the end of the day, you need to broaden your skill set.
I think he's going to be coaching Oli.
No, trust me. Van der Beek's going to have to
get... Same thing about Bruno, though. They were like, he came in and transformed the team. He brought creativity, flair, blah, blah, blah.
Hold on. Do you know what Oli said to Bruno when he came in? He just said, do what you were doing at Sporting Lisbon. That's your manager, coach, telling you, yeah, what we're going to do is just do what you were doing at Sporting Lisbon and you'll be okay. Friggin' chipping balls in bins, bruv, as well. Listen, don't upset my soul, man.
Hey, real quickly. Yeah. Did you not hear about Pogba wanting to go back to the Juve, or is that all fake news?
Fake news as far as I'm aware, because Raiola has come out and said that he's going to sign a new deal with United, but we'll see. We'll watch that space because it all depends on how Pogba performs in the season. If he has a,
the article was like, because Pirlo's like manager now, right? And he's obviously offloaded. I forgot who it was. I think it was Khedira, right?
Tweedy, Khedira, Higuain.
Yeah.
One more, I can't remember.
Apparently, the article was saying like, and obviously Pogba had played with Pirlo during his time. So the article was basically alluding to the fact that, you know, Pogba wants to go back to Juve and play under Pirlo. But I just wanted to check if any of you guys had heard that story or not.
I personally think it's all based on what Pogba does this season. If he has an outstanding season, I think we could see the Juves and the Real Madrids coming back in again. Obviously, I think the biggest dependent is on what happens with the second wave with COVID and all the rest of it, and the finances of clubs and stuff. But I think if Pogba has an outstanding season and then has a good Euros as well, don't be surprised if Real Madrid and Juve and PSG all start coming back in for him again. It's just the way that it is.
It's true, and Man United don't look like the team that they can hold off these kind of offers anymore. But speaking of United, bruv, there's a big question that I think everyone's forgotten about, bruv. Sancho.
Yeah, I was actually gonna follow up on that. After seeing today, Sancho.
Oh yeah, Sanchez. Sancho. Okay, yeah.
After watching today, do you still want United to go all out to get someone like Jadon Sancho, or do you back the club's policy of not overspending for someone like him? Because my thoughts personally on Sancho is that he's a blue chip player. He's up there. He can be, but he's still a bit immature, and I don't think he's ready for a team like Man United where he's going to be in the public eye. If you hear some of the stories about him in Germany, obviously he's showing up to training late, the lifestyle he's still got that immature thing about him, and that's in Germany. If he was to do that over here, with the spotlight's on him, it would be like probably another Pogba thing, where, you know, he'd be used as a scapegoat, that kind of thing. So, Souness would be like, he's not winning. He hasn't won the World Cup. He's trash. You know, COVID is his fault and that kind of stuff. So,
just talking about
so do you still want him at United with that price tag?
Not for the money that Dortmund want. I back the club in that it's ridiculous amount of money. Don't get me wrong. I understand that the club can do it, but I think, and I know a lot of United fans are saying, pay the money if you want the player and stuff because other teams have done it. But I'm just like, bro, that's too much money, way too much in this climate. Don't get me wrong. If they put a package together and said, all right, cool, here's 60 mil plus add-ons and all the rest of it and blah, 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 then we can kind of work it. But in terms of Dortmund saying they want 108 mil and nothing, not for me, man. I think that I wouldn't say there's better out there, but there's other options out there, and I'm not talking about Jack Grealish. I'm not talking about Jack Grealish.
Jack Grealish, 80 million. I don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
You're paying 80 million for...
talking about Jack Grealish.
They want that Peaky Blinders haircut at your club.
I'm telling you, I don't know if it's racism or just European managers don't want to go for these type of players no more. But I'm looking at 108 for Sancho. You can pay 30 to 40 mil and get man like St. Allen. And for me, I know Tu's not happy about that, but trust me, you pay 30, 40 million for St. Allen and you get arguably a player that can do the same amount of damage as Sancho, if not.
You pay that amount of money, you get a Gervinho 2.0, mate.
Oh no. No. Oh no. No.
Oh shit, this guy.
Topic, man.
All right, you know what?
No, two. We're gonna come to Newcastle. We are gonna come to Newcastle.
This guy,
we are gonna come to
do not call St. Allen Gervinho, fam. That's disrespect.
2.0, man.
He is the next coming of Ronaldinho under the right manager.
Yeah. All right, bro.
I'm laughing like I'm telling jokes, fam.
You said
If you don't see,
Ronaldinho.
fam, go and see this guy play. He loves entertaining. He loves just doing people for fun, fam. Imagine
Yeah.
him under.
Danny
Imagine him under
Drinkwater looks
Goodman.
good on YouTube as well.
This guy's disrespectful.
Bro,
This guy is disrespectful.
hey,
Man said, "Don't you drink
bro,
water?"
I don't want to take the piss or anything, yeah, because I like Nicolas Pepe as well. I like
Oh
Pepe.
shit.
But come on, like if we're talking about who had more of a Gervinho season, it was probably Pepe more so than fucking ASM. Do you know what I mean?
how many
And I like
assists
Pepe, bro.
Pepe
Trust
got
me.
this season?
Huh?
He's one of the top assisters in the. Well, I don't know about the league, but at Arsenal, I think he was.
Rob, we
top
Yeah,
one or
but
two.
Winton, bro.
hey,
We had
if
Joe
Maxim,
Winton.
hey, if Alan was playing for us, he'd have the same numbers. But man's got Joe Linton up front, so what do you expect, fam?
Man, like Almiron.
Exactly,
Yeah,
bro.
Almiron's sick, man.
Almiron had a good season.
Yeah, Almiron had a good season.
Yeah, he
But
did.
we're gonna get to Newcastle.
Yeah,
We're gonna get
yeah.
For real. But I disagree, man. Listen, I think Man United should cash out and pay up the money, man. Again, just being one of the guys that is, as you guys said, like I've got connections in German football, whatever the case might be. But yeah, from Germany, they're like they can't believe Man United are being stingy. What they believe it is the same kind of underhanded tactics that Man United have done, and it doesn't surprise me because who is it? Woodward, you're the guy that runs like.
Bro, don't talk to me about that guy, man.
Every time he goes in for a player, it's the same fucking.
They just say no.
Yeah.
They just say anytime he goes in for a player, they just say no, bro, because he doesn't know what he's doing.
No
Man
respect.
goes in there.
No.
Man goes in there.
Go on.
Exactly, and this is the point I was trying to make. In Germany, they're like, "Is this guy serious?"
No respect.
Serious? Like they can't believe. Yeah,
I have to agree with him though, because in this case, I have to defend Woodward because with coronavirus, you can't pay 108 for one player.
It's
You
disrespectful.
You can't pay 108 at the moment. I love the way that they're sticking to their guns. As I said, I think it's okay to stick to your guns. I think if United really want to go get him, go and get him. I don't think United should try bargain, say, "Oh, we're giving this." Either pay the 108 or don't say it's too much. You know, go and sign other people because you're dragging it out. As I said, you guys are spending so much time with Sancho. You should be looking at other targets, right? Man, like Grealish is there.
No. Bro, I'll happily take Leon Bailey, bruv. I'll happily take Leon Bailey, bruv. Like the one thing that I've been screaming out for Man United is that we haven't had a left-footed winger since Ryan Giggs.
That's true.
We haven't had a left-footed winger since Ryan Giggs, bruv. And we all know how effective bruv, Lionel,
Sanchez,
Robin.
Was he not left-footed?
No,
Who?
Sanchez right.
Sanchez played on the left, but he was right-footed. So we haven't had a left-footed winger since Ryan Giggs. Like, get some left-footers in, bro. Like, Gunwood is a striker. So, yeah, I mean, even though he's left-footed, he's a striker, but obviously he's playing out wide at the moment. But me personally, as I said, paying the money for Sancho, not 108. There's other people out there that can be got. Don't be wrong, I love Sancho. I want him at Man United. But what I've heard, like, from watching, obviously, James Cooper and all them man there, is that the sticking point actually isn't the money. It's Sancho's wages and his agent's fee that United are having the most difficulty with. So what they're trying to do is basically sort that out, because obviously no official bid has actually been made for Sancho.
Yeah.
So what they're trying to do is sort out, agree wages and agents' fees. Obviously they're not supposed to be doing that before they talk to Dortmund, but obviously everyone does it. And then once they've got that verbal agreement in place, then they're going to go to Dortmund with an offer. It won't be the 108, but it will be X amount plus add-ons and whatnot and blah, blah, blah. But allegedly the sticking point right now is the wages and the agents' fees. And I'm just like, if Jadon Sancho's asking for like 300-400 bags a week, bruv, just go for other targets. There are other players out there that we can use to get where we need to be. I said, obviously, we could sign everyone in the world with that manager. We're not getting anywhere. But there's other targets out there, bro.
As I said, what do you think of his performance today and the whole? Obviously, he played today. My concern with Sancho is that, as I said, he's just not ready yet. He's a very good player in that Dortmund side, which have brought him up. You know, he's played on the City, he's played on the Dortmund. They play in a certain way. Going into that United side is just a different story, where the way they play isn't the most effective. So someone like Sancho wouldn't stand out. So as I said, for him, even him asking that much money, I fully side with Man United on this. I wouldn't pay that, because he hasn't. He has to prove it first that he can do it, and then you can go for that money. You can't be asking for that money before you've done it. So
what are his wage demands?
It's all speculation, so no one actually knows what he wants. That was just me speculating. But apparently the club, I think he's asking for a certain amount, and the club are like, nah, we're not doing that. Because obviously the whole Alexis Sanchez thing, and they've learnt from that, and they're not trying to go down that route.
So, we're realistically speaking, from an Arsenal fan point of view, I think United are a huge threat to us. A huge threat in the top four. I know you may not seem it, but it's United. They have a way. They might use VAR. Solskjaer was a lucky striker. You guys got Penandes. So you guys got all the weapons available to, you know, stay up there. But realistically speaking, where do you think United are going to finish up this season?
7th.
7th is good. Realistically speaking, not pessimistically speaking.
Bro, 6. That's me being honest. I see. If I'm honest, predictions. I see it being Liverpool and City battling out for the title. A lot closer than obviously what it was last season. I see more of the season before in terms of them two battling it out, depending on whether or not Thiago Alcantara ends up at Liverpool or not, because they do need, especially if Wijnaldum goes to Barca, because I think I read something that he's close to joining Barcelona. Wijnaldum, so they have to replace him, and they probably need to get another striker in. But I see those two battling out. I see Chelsea closing the gap, but cementing 3rd place. And then that leaves Arsenal, United, and Spurs, and possibly Everton as well, all battling for 4th. And obviously, I like the way how Arteta is going on with Arsenal right now. I like the direction that you lot are going in, the players that you brought in. Obviously, Abbas signs, and then if you lot do that swap deal plus money, I think with Partey and Lacazette, I think that puts you lot, that's a massive problem for everybody else in the league. And then obviously Spurs, they're not spending money, but they bought a couple of players in. Joe Hart, Doherty, Schoenberg, they bought them in as well. So it's nuts. But realistically, 5th or 6th, I can't see United getting top 4. I mean, if Sancho deal does go through, it changes dynamic a little bit. But if it's the squad as it is right now, I can't see no higher than 6. As I said, the league last season was deceiving, because with the points, United would have finished 6th with those points. So they're no better than what they were prior. And obviously, as long as Ollie's in charge, the club's not going to go anywhere. Not going to go anywhere.
Oh, shit, man. Said Ollie's not by the wheel this time.
Bruv.
The wheels are falling off.
The wheels are falling up, bruv.
Before the season has even started.
Bruv, listen, there's a pile up on the M25 right now, bruv.
Any thoughts on Champions Leagues, FA Cup?
Yeah, you guys in the Champions League, any trophies? You looking for trophies this season? I said laughing.
Bruv, it's Ollie, bruv.
Fam, there's Carabao Cup up for grabs, Champions League.
The FA Cup, man.
Champions League will be lucky to get out of the group stage, depending on what kind of group we get. FA Cup, quarterfinal if we're lucky. Carabao Cup, he's not going to take it seriously. It's going to be for the youth. So, no. This is the answer. No. I said, like, me personally, the only way to get this man out is if man finishes like 6th or 7th, and I don't wish that on my team at all. But with him in charge, that I can't see anything happening. I mean, if we get 4th again next season, I see it as a victory, to be honest, because I see too many teams that have got way better players and way better managers for us to do anything. But it is what it is. What can you do? Dude's just looking at me, bro. Mr. Negative. But yeah.
Shall I tell you why, bro? Because
go for it.
You sound like me when the wheels at Newcastle started falling off. Like you actually start despising your team.
When were they on?
Huh?
Man's violating, bro. When they had Aspria, Solano, all them man there, bro. Champions League, and all that.
Can't just send shots at Newcastle all the time, you know? Why you
Solano, bro?
K is always sending shots at Newcastle. Man.
Them days of Alan Smith and Baduka, bro.
Oh, shit, you guys had Baduka in it.
Oh, they had Baduka in it, yeah.
Next K is gonna say, what's it? Danny Ings is a better version of Alan Shearer.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that. That's for me, mate. I wouldn't go that far. Mate. Alan Shearer.
But yes,
in the celebration.
Shearer, that's when we might get a little bit physical, bro. You know what I mean? That's start kick off a war, bro.
Oh dear, but yes, people. 2.
Yo.
As to wrap up, it's a final. We are gonna wrap up now because we have been on for long. But just a quick one from ya, because we like to hear about different clubs.
Yeah.
Your prospects for your team?
Fuck all, bruv. Just survive. Don't get relegated.
Just survive.
Mate, you got to say maximum, mate. I'm expecting more.
Bruv, we got Joe Linton as well.
Hold on. Just there are talks of Callum Wilson coming in from Bournemouth.
That'd be a good signing.
Mm.
That'd be an amazing signing.
And Ryan Fraser as well.
That'd be decent.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like we got to see. It really is a waiting game. I mean, like I know Eddie Howe was a good manager at Bournemouth. He had a system there in place, and it was a matter of finding a player to come in and fill that spot for him. But at Newcastle, is a whole clusterfuck of things. Do you know what I mean? Steve Bruce doesn't particularly have a style of football. It's just go out there and play. Do you know what I mean? So if he brings in someone like Callum Wilson, like I don't know, brother. We just have to wait and see, man. Whatever the case may be, he's not going to be better than Joe Linton. So, do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. So we are going to wrap it up there. Thank you very much to my guys, The Truth, Mr. K.A. and Tooth. We are back, people. As I said, make sure you like and subscribe on the
Smash
videos.
that like button, mate.
Of course. We will be back talking about all things Premier League as it does come back. We've got a couple of UFC events coming up. But more importantly, we still got to talk about the basketball playoffs. We need to get into that as well. That will be coming very soon. It's the only channel on this platform where we discuss all sports all the time. But thank you very much to my guys. We shall be back very soon. Peace.
Peace out.
Peace.